Hi, this is Leonardo Cavalli, author of the book 24 and Divorce, From Tragedy to Triumph. I'm here in Starbucks in St. Paul, Minnesota, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Sarah and her handsome son, Christian Joseph. Give me a high five, buddy. Awesome. Sarah, you had shared a little bit with me in regards to your story, so I just want to kind of understand from your point of view, what drew you to the book, what did you like about it, and kind of what you took away from it.
What really drew me to the book was your honesty and how raw you were about your situation.
Right.
It's really hard sometimes to be open and honest about when we're going through tragedy.
I think you had sent me a message the day afterwards. I think you read it all in one shot.
24 hours, yeah.
24 and Divorce, 24 hours. You can do it. Absolutely. Well, when you shared your story with me in regards to what you've been through, I thought it was interesting of certain tragedies that you had to go through, that you had to overcome. So do you mind sharing kind of with the audience out there and the viewers what you've had to overcome in your own personal life?
Absolutely. I've been a single mom. My son's 4, but I've been a single mom for 12 years. I have an older daughter as well. But why this book really resonated with me is because I had gone through a lot of the same issues and lies, bad relationships with my son's father, and it was really hard to walk away from going back to being a single mom when you've been in a two-parent home. But knowing that I had to push forward for myself, especially and then for my kids, and seeing the outcome of that, and seeing where I've moved on from and how the relationship has built has changed me.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. What would you say your favorite part of the book was?
Probably the red flags. I think so many people, we meet someone, we have this instant connection, and we start from there. We miss all these red flags,
right?
Or we just don't want to see them.
As I mentioned in the book, there's that honeymoon stage, where certain hormones are released that they say are actually at the same level of people who are addicted to cocaine.
Right.
In regards to people get a high off certain relationships, even if they're bad, even if they're they're detrimental to their health, they still want to push forward and go forward.
Right, right.
So, even in regards to what you had to deal with being a single mom, and like I said, I've heard your story in more detail, and I have all respect in the world for you and the way that you're able to manage yourself, and the way that you progressed in your career while still balancing schooling on top of working full-time, over 40 hours a week, and still taking care of your children. That is absolutely commendable.
Right.
My heart goes out to you on that. But for any other single mothers that are out there, what would be, I guess, your love lesson to them, or word of advice?
I guess my love lesson to them, the biggest thing is know your worth.
Right.
Your worth doesn't come from what society tells you.
Yes.
It comes from the Lord,
Right.
And if you know your worth, then nothing can defeat you.
Your daughter's watching you date right now. And
Yeah.
it's so important because subconsciously she's going to look at you and say, oh, well, mom just has guys just in and out of her life.
Right.
How come she can't keep someone? How come, things aren't working out for her? I guess, guys come in and then a year later they just leave. I guess this is just how love goes, and
Right.
unfortunately that's how, people build up their thoughts about love and marriage, later on in life.
Well, I take my daughter out on dates and say, this is how you should be treated on a date.
Right.
This is what you should expect. And I'm very intentional in my dressing, because she's watching me, and I don't.
You see that? Intentional with the modest is hottest. Turtlenecks, even in the summer, 110 degrees. A lot of men will look at a woman and immediately judge them and say, oh, look at her sleeping around. No, there's so many ladies that I've met who are single mothers, and they want to call them baby mamas, but single mothers who had the intention of marrying somebody,
Yes,
and then got the curveball, later
Yes.
on. And I know that you looked at the part in the book where it talked about that one lady who was, with the gentleman for 10 years. And then all of a sudden, he didn't marry her and married somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's 10 years of your life. So, she could have easily tried to have a child with him, but he would have left in that regard.
I mean, my son's father, you knew me when I was pregnant with my son and
Right.
when I was with him. And I never for a minute thought that he wasn't going to be my husband someday.
Right.
Unfortunately, I didn't know about the other girlfriend.
Crazy.
And that's the situation. And we co-parent really
What's
well.
his address? I'll find
Yeah.
him. I'll just give him
Right.
one.
No, but we co-parent really well, and we're very respectful. He's my son's father.
Right.
And so but I had to know that my worth, and know that God had someone better for me.
Right. I do have one last question for you.
Okay.
It's a very hard one. Tell me if you need to sleep on it, you need to pray about it, you need to go ask your mother about it, live with the lifeline, just let me know.
Okay.
The question is, who has the best coffee in the world? Think about it. Think about it.
A lot of people used to have coffee. say Starbucks.
Cheers on that. All right. Well, shout out to Starbucks. And once again, this is Leonardo Cavalli, author of the book 24 Divorce. You can get that at Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com, and also my website, which is www.24anddivorce.com. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, this is Coffee with Cavalli. Hope you have a great day.